All right, America, it's time for the Ringside Wranglers Wrestling Report with your host, Haz-Bin and Jack Jaw.
What's up, wrestling fans? It's Extreme Rules in about 1 hour. I'm Jack Jaw with the Ringside Wrangler Wrestling Report. We're here with what I used to think was Haz-Bin, but now he's Kansas. What you think of that?
Oh, you talking to me? Yeah, we got a problem right off the bat. Number one, that guy's picture and his name are going to have to be changed. You see, the reason why that guy and me weren't on your show last week is because we had some legal litigation that we had to handle in Kansas City, Missouri. And now, as of today, legal contract wise, that gentleman is no longer a part of your wrestling program. I am. And it's now time for me to formally introduce myself. My name is Kansas J. City. You may be familiar with my first cousin, Kansas J. Hawk. I'm a resident of Dodge City, Kansas. And yes, I do drive a 2018 Dodge Challenger. I also drink Dole orange juice out of respect for a native, respectful Kansasian, Bob Dole. Some other guys famous in Kansas include Dorothy, Toto, Bill Self. You may know these two gentlemen, Leslie Miles and Lester Earl, Dwight D. Eisenhower, the general, and Amelia Earhart. And to my adversary, who's no longer a part of this program, I'll leave you with a parting comment from a band named after my beloved state that says, and I quote, "Carry on, my wayward son, for there'll be peace when you are gone. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more."
Oh, he ain't crying. He ain't crying. Has been gone. Kansas in the house. Hit it with that next one right there. We got to show that next slide, Mr. Punk. Punk, who it is. Who it is. It's right there. Next one. We got right there, Kansas in the house. I was thinking he's going to be. There
lovely.
he is.
Bless
Kansas
you,
is
sir.
back.
Bless you, sir.
I'm Jack Jaw. This is the Ringside Wrangler Wrestling Report. We cover news from the WWE, the AEW, sometimes Impact. Had an Impact Slammiversary last night, and then sometimes we hit on NWA, but we always hit on independence. Let's run through what happened this week in the WWE universe. Raw this week. Crazy. All these shows leading up to tonight's Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules tonight in less than an hour. This week, on the Raw show, you had Drew McIntyre crashing Dolph Ziggler's VIP show. Week. I got something to call out at the end of the show. We'll do a rundown of what needs to happen at Extreme Rules. We'll go on with it. Andrade Angel Garza taking out Viking Raiders. Again, week. Bianca Belair. This was pretty good. Bianca Belair and Ruby Riott taking out the Iconics. I can't believe the Iconics are on a 2 or 3 match losing streak. What'd you think of that one?
I'm not really sure what to say about that. I mean, obviously those two ladies are extremely talented. It wasn't a good day at all for one of the Iconics because it looks like her and her adversary, fiance, husband, so to speak, didn't have a good day either. So we got some issues we got to work out with them.
Oh no. That's crazy. Next up, Shayna Baszler. She's back. She makes a violent return. She's always been a violent type. She's on there. That was pretty decent. Then you got Seth Rollins addressing the eye for eye match with Rey Mysterio in about 45 minutes on Extreme Rules. That was a good mic thing going on there. Then you got Buddy Murphy versus Aleister Black. That ended in a no contest. Then you got Kevin Owens taking on Seth Rollins. Rematch from WrestleMania. Kevin Owens gets the win there. Then you've got Randy Orton fighting R-Truth. Thought that was kind of weak. And Randy Orton gets the win there. Then you got Bobby Lashley taking out Ricochet. Thought it was weak too. Then you got the women's tag team. This was a great match. Sasha Banks and Bayley taking out the Kabuki Warriors. That match was a very good match. Had no idea it was going to be that good. Lots of high-flying acrobatics, lots of good moves. But the match of the night on Raw, you got to give it to Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins. Right there, you got Aleister Black serving in the lumberjack role. That was my match of the week. What did you think about that one on Raw?
He was okay. Obviously, I went with Robert Lashley. I thought he showed his dominance along with his adversary, Montel Vontavious Porter. We're going to win the championship for real tonight.
For real. There we
We're
go.
just warm right now, but it will become official, just like I'm official on the show right now. Their title reign will be official tonight at what we're calling the Rocky Horror Lady Picture Show.
Oh, that's a good one. Next up, NXT Wednesday night. You got the new double champ, Keith Lee, here in live, taking out Dijakovic comes out. He wants a title match, and he gives it to him. That was a great match later on tonight. Also on the card, you got Damian Priest taking out Cameron Grimes. You got Andy Hartwell taking out Shotzi Blackheart. Then you got Keith Lee taking on Dominic Dijakovic. Winner take all match. Keith Lee just won it last week. He ain't giving it up this week. So Keith Lee gets the win there. Timothy Thatcher takes out Denzel DeJournette. Io Shirai takes out Tegan Knox for the NXT Women's Championship. Match of the week. Keith Lee over Dominic Dijakovic. I feel like I'm like what do you call that, a running board with my audio. It's like whoop, 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 whoop. Either way, I love it. Keith Lee, that match was awesome. Dominic Dijakovic, that is a great name. I look for big things coming from him out of NXT. Big dude. What you think?
Well, old boy, it sounds like you were on the USS Enterprise in Star Trek, but I'll tell you one thing. Keith Lee's a big fan of mine. I'm a big fan of his, and I think Keith Lee is the future of the NXT program.
Yeah. So either way, that match was pretty good. We didn't talk last week. Who would have thought? Did you see that coming? Keith Lee taking out Adam Cole?
Yeah, I feel very sorry for Adam Cole and Dr. Britt Baker. They're both going through their own personal demons right now with him losing the championship and they're having another injury. But I think they're both talented and they're going to come back and bounce very quickly. At least I feel that way.
All right, now we wind down the week. SmackDown this week. Cesaro taking out Keith Lee, coming out. Keith Lee. That was a pretty good match. I had to give it to him. That right there was a stipulation determined what the fight is going to be at Extreme Rules tonight. The winner of that match is Cesaro versus Big E. The winner gets to choose what kind of match it is, if it's going to be a cage match or a tables match. Right off the bat, I'm going, ain't no way it's a cage match. They can't put a cage in that little place they're fighting in week after week. So you knew Cesaro was going to win. You knew a tables match was on its way, and that's exactly what happened. So Cesaro gets the win over Big E. So it's a tables match tonight. Then you got Bayley and Sasha Banks taking on Nikki Cross and Osaka. I thought it was interesting that Nikki Cross did not team with her partner of normal. So she fights with Osaka. I think that may be a little prelude to what's going to go on tonight, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. So Bayley and Sasha Banks gets the win over Nikki Cross and Osaka. Bray Wyatt appearing in the Swamp, pitching their match for tonight against Braun Strowman. That's going to be awesome. Braun Strowman takes out John Morrison. Like, he beat him in like 3 minutes. I don't know what was going on with that. They built it up with Miz was out there saying, John, are you worried? Are you worried? He's like, yes, I'm worried. Yes, I'm scared. That was kind of weird that he's bowing down to Braun Strowman that easy. John Morrison gets wiped out in less than 3 minutes by Braun Strowman. Then you got Lacey Evans taking out Naomi. I don't know why they don't learn their lesson week after week when they do something really dumb, when they had that karaoke thing last week. Recognize how dumb it is and move on. Maybe they're recording this stuff too close. They don't have time to edit it and cut it out. But they show the karaoke thing again this week. Lacey Evans gets the win over Naomi. And I couldn't wait for that to be over. I'm going, what are you doing when they showed the karaoke thing? And then the match of the night, I'll get to that in a minute. AJ Styles versus Matt Riddle. When Matt Riddle first showed up at SmackDown, he gets the win over AJ Styles. So they're going to fight for the IC title this time. What'd you think of this match? This was awesome.
I had Alan James Styles as my wrestler of the week, and the Barefoot Batista is doing a great job as well. As for Lacey Evans, I'm really glad to see that she's turning heel again. She's a much better heel than ever she was a face. She came in as a heel. She's best as heel, and I'm glad to see her back. And kudos to Alan James Styles I've been following this guy's career way back since Japan and Impact and all the other days, the early WCW days. And the guy is the future. He is the face that runs the place, and he is the shining jewel of the SmackDown brand.
You know, he's using the tagline, I'm the face that built the place, I'm the guy who built the place, whatever. Bayley was doing the same thing this week. She's saying she was the person that built all this stuff. I guess she's built the stuff for the women. AJ built it for the men.
Right. And speaking of Bayley, I was very impressed to see her pull off the Ric Flair double foot on the second rope thing. I mean, that's when I look at Bayley and Sasha Banks, when I look at those two ladies, I think of Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. They are the four horsewomen, am I correct?
Yes, they are.
So I can see Bayley and Sasha Banks, either one of the two, being Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard. Of course, Charlotte Flair is her father, and then the young lady who's out on the pregnancy leave. She can be the fourth rotating member of the team. But it was very refreshing to see Bayley get a win cheat style, because that really brings apart the four horsemen women moniker.
Yeah. Next up. So that right there is the big rundown of the week. The three main shows: Raw, NXT, SmackDown. For tonight, we're looking at about 40 minutes from now, 39 minutes till show kicks off. A horror show at Extreme Rules. Pay-per-view coming on the WWE Network at 6 up, 7 Eastern. Let's run down that card for tonight. It's going to be awesome. We got Apollo Crews versus MVP for the U.S. title match. I can't see Apollo losing to MVP. What do you think?
I'm totally upset. I think Vontavious Porter gets the win at the Rocky Horror Lady Picture Show.
Wow, that would be crazy. Next up, Rey Mysterio, Seth Rollins, eye for an eye match. If that really was an eye for an eye, they'd have a whole lot of viewers for that one. What you think of that match? This is what, do we see it tonight? Do we see Rey Mysterio's son turn on him tonight?
Possible, but I tell you, if this were ECW or some old school Japan with Mick Foley and all these other guys, Terry Funk and the like, you probably would see some eyeballs pop out. But that's just another cheap plug of their attempt to make you watch the program. I don't see anybody eyes popping out or teeth flying out. Just like it wasn't the greatest wrestling match in all time, was the most irritating long wrestling match. Shouldn't take 6 hours to have the greatest wrestling match of all time. But as far as I'm concerned, yeah, if D-Nick makes the turn tonight, it's long overdue.
Then you got Bayley tonight. Bayley taking on Nikki Cross for the SmackDown Women's. Does Bayley keep it?
Bayley impressed the hell out of me last Friday when she did the double leg on the second rope, further cementing her legacy as a horsewoman. Bayley wins this no problem at all. She has completely opened my eyes to how great of an athlete she is.
All right, Osaka versus Sasha Banks. Do they just bring all the gold into the Bayley and Banks deal? Osaka keeps it?
I got to go with Asuka on that one. I think Asuka is one of my favorites. And, of course, Hikaru Shida on AEW. I love those two Japanese ladies. They're gorgeous, sexy, talented, dangerous in their own right. I've got to go with Asuka on this one.
All right, Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler.
I love the Dolphin. I've always been a fan of the Dolphin. Kent State for life. But I just right now don't think it's Dolphin's time to get the win unless something crazy happens. I think they want to give Reba's grandson another push, and they won't have to keep it running for a while. So I think old Drew is going to keep that title for a little while.
All right, then the headliner, Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt in the swamp, the Wyatt swamp fight. What you think of that one?
There's an 80% chance of rain in that. Of course, here in Kansas, we don't have swamps. By the way, I don't know what all this Texas tornado garbage is. Ain't no tornadoes in Texas, man. There's tornadoes in Kansas. Kansas is basically the melting pot thoroughbred of the United States of America. This is where the heartland is, if you want to be. Dusty Rhodes said he was the heartbeat of America. Well, Kansas is the heartland of America, and we have the most tornadoes in the United States. Thank you very much. And as far as I'm concerned, they want to talk about this being in a swamp. I think Louisiana's got some pretty good swamps too, if I'm not mistaken. But I think in this one, as much as I'd love to see Bray Wyatt get the win, I just think that Braun Strowman, they got too much of a push on him right now, which is rightfully so. Yeah.
You can't give the belt to Wyatt when he was the Fiend. The Fiend was, to me, a way better character. But, hey, what do I know? I'm just Jack Jaw, man. On to AEW Dynamite this week. This was what they call this week? You had the Fighter Fest last 2 weeks. This week was the Fight or Flight or something like that. Either way, that was a build-up. They had 3 weeks of good matches, headlined this week by Jon Moxley and Brian Cage. Top of the show, Cody takes on. He's on his weekly TNT title defense. Cody takes out FTR. They take out Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix, whatever. Then you've got Kenny Omega and Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson taking out the Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt, the Human Dart. Then you've got the Nightmare Sisters. You know they even have sisters. Either way, Brandy Rhodes and Allie, they get the win over Kenzie Page and MJ. And then the main event of the night, Jon Moxley taking on Brian Cage with Taz. That was for sure. Match of the week. Jon Moxley gets the win to keep the AEW champion. What do you think of that one?
I like the way they went back with some nostalgia with the Arnold Sterling throwing in the towel. Speaking of Taz, protect his George Brian Cage for perhaps another 5 months rehab of a torn bicep. I think that was great, and that's why I like AEW so much, because they go back old school. They watch the videotapes and things of that sort, and they understand the way things used to be. I mean, nobody probably understands what throwing in the towel means, except for us old college of the Arnold Sterling days back in the day. But I really enjoyed that, and I would have to say that my wrestler of the night would have been Mr. Kenneth Omega, because he showed something I haven't seen from Mr. Omega since his days wrestling up in Japan. He got violent, and you don't want Kenny Omega to get violent because he already is a phenomenal athlete in his own right. He's one of the guys at WWE is kicking themselves in the rear end because they could not get him because he did not want to go, rightfully so to him. But when you saw him get violent like that after that match, you don't want to get Kenny Omega upset. You don't step on Superman's cape. You don't spit in the wind. You don't go through Kansas without tornado insurance. And you don't get Kenneth Omega mad.
Can't do that. On to the Independents. Independents this week. We got a new one we're covering. The Renegade Championship Wrestling. Our good old boy who was on the show a few months ago. Big man Cyrus McWhorter. Cyrus the Destroyer. He's part of the Renegade Championship Wrestling family. We're looking for the independents that are putting the pandemic behind them and are having shows. Renegade is one of those. They're having a show on the 1st and 3rd Saturday of the month. Check out their Facebook page. That is going to be an awesome card right there. On July 25th, the RC Renegade Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion Landon Priest taking on Logan Chase in an open challenge match. Check out them. Other independents could check out Renegade because they've got their list of how they're doing their show with the social distancing, all the stuff that they're going to set the show up with to make everybody safe to go to the show. I thought it was a great testament to the indie organization that are putting that on. That's going to be awesome. What do you think of that one?
We always love the independent wrestling. Those guys have really struggled, but they're tremendous, talented superstars of tomorrow. They're tremendous business acumen for these folks, and the fact that they're able to put their shows on social media means so much more now. These times with social media being such an obvious adversary, where they can put this on Facebook and they can put this on YouTube or whatever their video platform is. Before they couldn't do all that, now they can. So God bless them. They can keep fighting on. I'm glad when this pandemic ends for everybody out there, all working men and women in America, especially in the great state of Kansas, who are going to try and make a living. And these young men and women in these independents, God bless them, because they're keeping the flame alive. And oh, by the way, as for Braun Strowman, I know that one of his monikers is "Get these hands." Braun, you can't touch within 6 feet. That's a CDC violation for social distancing. So your hands are going to have to not touch for a while, boy.
Elbow maybe. On to another independent we follow, Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling. They have their Extreme Takeover Thursdays. That's a Thursday night internet show. That's an awesome deal there. Last week, if you missed it, remember the WWE Gangrel? He was on their show last week. That was awesome. He took on the Brothers in Arms. That was awesome. What's up?
Would that still be the same David Heath of the Brood variety?
That's it.
What a great guy. When he married to Luna Vachon back in the day?
Yes, sounds right.
What a great guy. See, you think that other guy knows all this stuff. You give old Kansas a chance. I'll show you how damn good I am, too. With it. We don't need that other guy. He's gone.
Has-Bin. He's done.
No, don't you cry no more. Lay your weary head to rest, son. Don't cry no more. Kansas here. I'm on the 18, just like my adversary, Oklahoma. We're on the 18. We're gonna make this happen. All right.
Has-Bin is off of the marquee starting next week. Extreme Takeover from Atomic Revolution Wrestling. They also have a Star Spangled Slammer show on July 31st. Check out that card right there. You've got Wes Briscoe versus Shannon Moore. That's an awesome show coming up on Friday, July 31st. Another independent putting the pandemic behind them. Next up, Wrestling 225. We cover these local boys. They had that great show. Corey Constantine defending his belt. This week, guess who's fighting this week? An old friend of yours, Mustang Mike. He's fighting at Lockdown. He's fighting at River. Not heard of River, but hey, Mustang Mike, he's a legend in these parts. What you think of that?
Well, I know the Missouri River is pretty strong up here in the Kansas area, but that old boy River, he may want to make sure he got some flood insurance, because what I've heard about Mustang Mike, that's a tough SOB. You don't want to mess with him either. That's a very talented guy, a grizzled ring veteran. Nothing but respect for Mustang Mike and what he's done. I'm afraid old River better have some flood insurance on that one, because Mike gonna bring it.
Well, check it out. Check out that River look. River look like he's ready. He's like this. Yeah, ready. I'm River. I'm ready.
Mustang Mike be ready. Mustang Mike.
Check out his. You know he's ready. He's got the Alf tattoo on his left arm right there. That's Alf, baby.
Yeah, he lost a bet for that one for sure. River. Mustang Mike, look for him to get the big time win this week on Tuesday on Facebook on the Wrestling 225 Facebook page on July 21st. That's this Tuesday coming up, 8 p.m. It's going to be awesome. Next up, Wildcat Wrestling. We cover those guys too. They've got a match also. They got a Tuesday night thing going on. This week, guess what? You've got the new Revolution Championship title defense this Tuesday right there. Look at that. You know what Jace Valor's nickname is? He is the Baton Rouge Bullet. Wrestling out of Wildcat Wrestling. He's going to be defending that new belt that he just won. That belt was held. The first time the title changed was this guy, Jace Valor, took it after 2 years with somebody else. There you go. Jace Valor's the new Revolution champion. He won it last month. He's defending it this week against, how do you say it? Buku Dao? Buku Dao? Something like that. Either way, I look for Jace Valor to keep the belt. What you think, Wildcat?
Yeah, that sounds good. Both those guys look like they're in great shape. And again, we're most obliged to support the local independent scene. They are the future. We can't say enough. They are the future of this business. And it's such a blessing to know that they can use the social media with Amazon and YouTube and Facebook and all these other fancy damn places to get their program across. One thing they will tell you in this business, whenever you don't get television or video exposure, that's the death of you. And it's so great to see all these men and women get a chance to hone their skills. Even if it's in front of a limited crowd, you still can get the people on social media. Hell, just like we're doing right now on this program, hosted by yourself and Kansas J. City.
And produced by the man producer Punk. Either way, there we go. We covered 4 independents right there in a matter of minutes. 4 independents that got shows going on, content putting out there. It's going to be awesome this coming week and the weeks to come. Everybody's coming back online. This week, we got to point out our sponsor again this week is Defense Shopper. Hit it. There they are right there. Matches of the week. We covered them earlier. They're our sponsor, Defense Shopper. Use the code JackJaw. You want some free stuff? JackJaw will get you free shipping, and it gets you 20% off. JackJaw, they protect your stuff with stun guns and pepper sprays and stuff like that you need to protect yourself. Defense Shopper, they sponsor some of our content weekly. JackJaw's the code, free shipping, and 20% off. This week's Spotlight, we're going to cover 5 things that need to happen at Extreme Rules tonight. And we're talking in 26 minutes. The things that need to happen on Extreme Rules.
All right. I would say number 1 is get extreme.
Yeah, they're already going to have a problem with that. I don't even think every match they have is extreme, but either way, it used to be every match was extreme. I think if I'm looking at the card, you may only have 3 or 4 matches that are Extreme. But either way,
I'll give you two right now. Number one, get Extreme. Number two, change the name to its official name, the Rocky Horror Lady Picture Show.
Well, either way, 5 things as reported by Sportskeeda. Check it out. Sportskeeda is reporting the 5 things that need to happen tonight at Extreme Rules. Number 5, Eric Rowan needs to come back and have something to do with the Wyatt Swamp fight. What you think of that?
Eric Rowan needs to go to AEW and be with Mr. Brody Lee in the Dark Order. That's where Eric Rowan needs to go.
Well, it would be pretty cool if they did something, a reuniting of the Wyatt family, and everybody left. Wyatt kept the belt, and he was on the dark side again from the Wyatts. That would be pretty cool. With Rowan coming back, you got to get these little tidbits, make the show what it is. Number 4, Osaka. Excuse me, did I say it right? Osaka. Asuka. I always want to say Osaka. This right here needs to be.
Hear me. Unlike your adversary, I'm an A-team member. I'm going to teach you how to say her name is Asuka.
Asuka. Well, the Asuka and Sasha Banks match must be the match of the night for Extreme Rules to be the show that it needs to be. Next up, the New Day. I say the belt's got to go. I'm done with the New Day having the belts. New Day needs to lose the belts tonight to right there Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura, the artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura. I think that would be great to see Shinsuke and Cesaro win. Number 2, Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. This needs to be a one-time thing. After tonight, this whole thing, McIntyre gets the win, but it needs to be over with right now. End it right here. McIntyre gets the win. Ziggler goes off and maybe continues his thing with who knows else, but stop the Ziggler-McIntyre thing. There's just no interest there. Weak. What you think?
It ain't it ain't Dolph Ziggler's fault. Dolphin is one of the greatest wrestlers in the industry. He's
no doubt.
He's got amateur background experience from Kent State. And if you're going to ask me a question and ask something you chop a tree down with, I think that Dolphin should win the belt because he's more deserving of it. He's more of an athlete. He's way more talented. He's got more experience. And it's time for the Dolphin to wear gold again. But you and I both know there'll be a tornado-less day in hell in Kansas when that happens.
You think? Here we go. We'll see what happens. I'm saying it needs to be done tonight. They don't even need to talk about this tomorrow night. And the number 1 thing that I think that would make the show great tonight, Sportskeeda says so as well. How about Sportskeeda? How about Alexa Bliss turning?
Are they related to Hikaru Shida?
Yes. What you think? Alexa Bliss turning heel tonight. Would that make the show great or what?
Love it. I would love to see Alexa Bliss go heel again. They've already did the same thing with the sassy Southern Belle, Lacey Evans. I'd love to see the New Day go heel again when Xavier Woods returns. It's time to shake some things up, guys. It's called the Rocky Horror Lady Picture Show. Let's make it worthwhile, not just some other pre-recorded Orlando Training Center facility event.
I say if Alexa Bliss turns heel and causes Cross to lose, I think it'd be pretty good. You can tell this week on the Moment of Bliss show this week, you can tell Alexa Bliss was getting tired of her anyways. Cross, it's done.
All right. We're down to our 1 minute mark. I can see what the 29-minute mark. So let me, as an 18 broadcaster, let me get to my quick. WCW back in the day when they had their 86, 87 week winning streak, because every week they brought something fresh, they brought something new, and everybody on their toes, their feet, they're watching programming. WWE's been as stale as the Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas Dust Plains in 3 years, man. Make some serious heel changes tonight. Let's make this stuff happen, and WWE will be back to be fun to watch again. Until then, you still be AEW anytime.
You got it, Kansas. You're hot tonight. Either way.
I'm an A-lister, man. I ain't like your adversary. I'm an A-lister. I was born and bred to do this, son. That's what it's going to be.
You are the man. We're happy to have you. I'm Jack Jall. This has been the Ringside Wrestling Report.
Get that off, man. That dude don't want it. Gone. Bye-bye.
See you later. Reach out to us at Ringside Wranglers. Subscribe to us. Comment. You're independent. Do it. Plug them. Bring your stars on. Hit us up. Ringside Wranglers. Producer Tom. See you later. Haz-Bin. I'm Jeff Bell. We kept it under 30 minutes.
Goodbye, Haz-Bin. Carry on, my wayward son. There'll be peace when you're gone. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't cry no more. You're out of here. Stay in this end.